Good morning or good afternoon or good night, wherever you're hearing this from. My name is Kim Galtigorski, and I am bringing to you episode number 2 with Balance Over Perfect. This podcast has been so exciting for me to just be able to communicate with you guys on a different level. It's really what it comes in as. And I was just communicating this with Facebook Live. I am Kim Galtigorski on Facebook. And what I love about going Facebook Live is that when I film the podcast is that I'm my most genuine self, because I feel when we get into this role of I want to get a message out, I want to be able to connect with people on a different level, that is when we kind of try to be perfect, try to say things perfectly, write a script, have everything go exactly how we want it to go. But it doesn't always go like that, and maybe it does. And if you're that person that does it on the first shot, you freaking rock. I'm into you. I love you. You're awesome. But majority of us, just like myself, will stutter. We'll say the things, say the wrong things. We'll say we'll say like. So that is why I like to come to you guys as authentic and as true as myself. So again, my name is Kim Galtigorski, and I am the creator of Balance Over Perfect. And this podcast is designed for you guys to be able to feel that sense of grace, be able to feel that sense of peace, and to really be able to have all those two compound to have action. That is something that I've taken in the last 3 years of my life, but really the last 7. I'm 30 years old. I'm still young with my journey, but for the last 3 years, I have tried to figure out this thing called balance, and maybe it's not achievable, but what I do know is that we can have that kind of balance and that grace and that peace within moments of our life. And that's what I want to bring to you guys today. So I want to talk about loving ourselves. It's so airy-fairy. You may hear me say that a few times on this podcast, is that, dreams and living, your life's perfect purpose and your mission, it's so airy-fairy. And that kind of, makes me feel that it's not attainable. Just like this balance thing, it's not attainable. But that's where I want to help and break it down for you. So, I can take it back to a story of a piece in my life where I didn't love myself. And you may relate to this. So this time last year, November of 2015, my appendix ruptured. Long story short, I had to have this external tube hanging out of my stomach. I know, TMI a little bit there. But it was so necessary for me to have this long, drawn-out appendix rupturing. It wasn't just this, hey, you're going to go in, you're going to get your appendix out, peace, see you later. No, it was a little bit more in-depth. And honestly, I thank the higher beings for that one, because it taught me about the lack of love I had on myself and the lack of respect I had. You hear this phrase, you only have one body. So why don't you take care of it and love it? But majority of us don't. I'm calling a sister out. I didn't. I'm calling a lot of you out. You don't take care of your body. We give ourselves that excuse. You're like, I just don't want to be on any regimen of eating if I can't have pizza and wine all the time, if I want it. And agreed, I get that. There's that balance piece to it. But can you live off pizza and wine? No. Can you live off fueling your mind with negativity? You can, but it won't be that great. And can you live off with not believing that there is something greater out there than you? And what I mean by that is that we get so self-absorbed. And this is where that selfish role comes in. When we think that our problems and our life and our situations are the only things that matter. And that's why when people say to me, why do you read so much personal development? Why do you listen to all these podcasts? Why do you take so much time for yourself? That's selfish. I'm like, whoa, first off, that hits me in the gut. I'm like, God, that person really is passionate about that. But 2, it's comes down to that is actually self-care, because it takes me out of the situation of my life is not the only thing that matters right now. There's a lot more greater things in this world, and we all know that, but we get so self-absorbed with it. And that's where the lack of love happens. So, when I think about starting to love yourself, and, what does that contain? For me, it was way too many rock bottoms. Rock bottoms in the sense that I was just either, to a point where my husband and I were super strained with our relationship, rock bottom, to the point where my appendix ruptured, my health, rock bottom, to the point where I literally couldn't go a second without thinking about what people thought about me, rock bottom. So what is your rock bottom? And I'm going to be super honest and super passionate about this. I hope you haven't met your rock bottom. And that's where the empathy and the sympathy in me comes out. But I do know that if I didn't hit my rock bottom, I wouldn't be I potentially maybe not on this podcast. So know that if you are at your rock bottom, or if you have been, know that it's okay. Know that that's human. Know that we all go through it. And so what I want to help you guys with today is recognizing it. So have you been taking care of yourself? That does not mean 100% clean eating. And that does not mean working out 6 days a week. That does not mean reading 4 hours of personal development every day. That's extreme if you want to go that route. I don't read 4 hours of personal development. I go about an hour. So I've learned to build up on that. I've learned to build up on all those things. And so let's take your health, for example. On a scale of 1 to 10, where's it at? How you feeling? Seriously, ask yourself that. Take a second. If you're driving, don't take a second to write anything down. But if you are at home or you're listening to this at work, ask yourself, where's your health? And how do you measure that? So for me, I measure my health based off of how I'm eating and how I'm hydrating myself, and also how I'm working out. And that's like the nourishment. I look at that as all as nourishment for myself. And the cool indicator for myself is actually my skin. Right now, my skin, you can't really see it. If you're on the podcast, you definitely can't see it, but on Facebook Live, you may. I'm breaking out on the bottom, like around my mouth. And I'm super fortunate to have one of my amazing friends and estheticians, Lindy, be able to say, like, you're just not hydrating enough. She was right. TMI, but like my pee was not clear. So that's definitely a piece to it. And so I'm going to work on that. I'm working on that this week, really getting into that 64 to 80 ounces. That may bore you. That may bore you, your health. But guess what? If you don't have that in line, it's going to be real tough to bring any kind of energy to your relationships, to your job, and to yourself. Yourself is obviously going to become last if you can't really get that under wrap. And so that's a piece to it. I'm not going to go super in depth because that's something that I teach in a lot of my programs. So if you really want to go in depth in the health piece, please reach out to me. You can reach me at kimkgorski.com. And so with your relationships, are you communicating with them? Because if you don't have good communication with your relationships, that actually takes a piece of loving yourself out. And I can attest to this a ton. That whole feeling, oh, they don't get me. Oh, why do they do this all the time? Well, actually, sister or brother, have you said anything to them? Have you communicated any of that? Because that goes into the piece of thinking that we are the only ones that matter. That the outside world just should know. They should all know. So with that said, do you know? Do you communicate? And then the third piece is really, are you connecting with yourself and, that higher being, that spirituality, like whatever it is for you, if it's the universe, if it's a community, if it's God, whatever it is for you, are you connecting to that? Because that's where the belief in you starts to happen. And there you go again. And by there you go, me, there I go again with the airy fairy stuff. Believe in you. I call this as it is because I was just like you in the fact that I thought that stuff was airy fairy. Oh, so I just believe in myself and everything works out? Well, no, but if you believe in yourself, you got a lot going for you. So that's where you have to take that gut check. Where can you work on that? Can you pick up a book? Can you pick up a podcast? Can you pick a date to go meet with a friend that lifts you up? not one that you just dwell with, not one that actually gets you, like your workers, the people that you work with, that, you're all mad at your boss, or you don't like this new project that you're doing, or if you're a teacher and the kids are going crazy and they're not learning. Yeah, not those people. I'm sorry. Those people are great, but they're not the ones that are going to get you out of that negativity / I don't love my job life stuff. Does that make sense? Because when you start really going off that nourishment within yourself, that love within your relationship and that fuel within your mind, that is where stuff starts to take like fruition. It starts to come to life. And loving yourself is something that not enough of us do. And so I will be talking a ton more about this, but it's something that we all can do. So if you are at the point where I was, where I literally did not love myself at all, that I let my body, mind, relationships all go, you can do it. And if you hear my dog in the background, that's the whole point of this Balance Over Perfect. I don't have a studio. I don't have these beautiful walls in the background to make everything in. It's just life. So I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this, and please share this with anyone that you would find value. And I hope that you can start loving yourself one piece at a time, at a day, at a moment. Because if we can give ourselves grace for yesterday, peace for today, and a plan for tomorrow, you got it going on. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Mwah.